And we are live, and I am excited today. Another day, a beautiful day at the Love Mastery podcast. And welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another episode where we discover love and relationships and our passion and our purpose and our entrepreneurship and our really deep self-led purpose and identity and a journey of becoming who we're always meant to be. And today I'm honored and welcome to this beautiful lady, my beautiful Kimbra Rodriguez. Thank you for being here. And I want to start by just saying thank you for like it's saying, yes, I want to be in. It's a lot of people kind of like resist sometimes to just go live, but it's so much fun to come here and let yourself be known to this world. And so for the ones that are watching right now, Kimbra, she is the daughter of a Texan cowboy. I should have worn my cowboy hat. And intuitive psychic. And also, she has a unique combination of gifted with strong work ethics as well. Unique, also herself being passionate about the life as a psychic and using all her amazing visions and tools to help self-led entrepreneurs, change makers, visionaries, healer, mediums, and by how well video editing and podcast productions and using website design. And we all need that. We all need that support. So thank you for being here. And my first question to you is, we all go through those challenges, but right now, think of me like if I was your best friend back in Texas, back when you were younger. What would your best friend say right now who you are today?
I think that my best friend would probably be surprised at the road that I've taken. I was as a kid, I was very thinking of the words. Sorry, they're not coming, but I
No
struggled
rush.
a lot. I struggled a lot with as far as my own self-acceptance because being undiagnosed with ADHD, I was the kid who never would shut up. I remember being in first grade and being sent out to the hall or being sent to the principal's office because I could not stay seated and I could not be quiet. And also, I was very emotional, not knowing at the time being empathic, not just empathetic, but an empath as well. And with the ADHD, very emotional. So I was like the target of who the kids picked on at the playground. So, for my best friend to see me today as the confident, assured woman that I am, who knows her value, who knows her worth, who knows how damn good looking she is. I hope it's okay that I cuss, but just knowing,
You're here to say the truth.
but seeing how I've come into my own, I think my best friend would be surprised and just so happy of who I've become.
Oh, that's beautiful. We all have drastic changes in our life and our, for this world that I don't think they have always, well, they have never spoken the truth to us, right? So when we
Hmm.
take those drastic changes, they actually feel like we're a different person. We're not. We're of course we are different because we have done so much work, but we're still
Hmm.
genuinely the same heart, and just in a
Yeah.
different level. And it's beautiful because we continue to expand, we continue to move forward to our beautiful gifts. And I'm so proud of you because yeah, and it's not easy having HD, a I always forget them. You know why? And the reason why, because
Hmm.
the first time that I knew that I was not sick and I started healing and I healed from everything, I said that any of those medical words were not going to be in my life anymore. So to
Hmm.
me, I don't use them. I don't believe in them.
Hmm.
And I don't think that we are sick. So it's like, okay, what does that mean?
Right.
It's,
And yes. And I
it's
would
like
say, like,
you
for
don't
me,
use
it
them
was,
anymore. It's like you
yes.
forget.
Yes. And for me, it was like a godsend because for so long, I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought, why can't I focus? Why can't I get things the way other people get them? Why is it that I can't stay seated? And when I got that diagnosis, it wasn't that I'm sick. It was my brain is literally different than most people's. And that's a beautiful gift. It is such a beautiful gift to know that you're not wired like everyone else. It opens up so much potential to be so much more than what other people see themselves as because of it. And so I look at it as not being an illness, not being a crutch, but being a beautiful difference that makes me unique and amazing.
I love that. So that kind of answers my other question because we're talking about, we want to know about you, right? This is your
Mhm,
pedestal, this is your throne as the queen you are. And, beyond business, beyond titles, and beyond any responsibilities, because we are like in heart, who are you?
mhm. Yes. For me, I'm somebody who genuinely cares about and loves other people. I somebody who's very carefree, I like to be happy. I like to dance. I love country music dancing. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I like to just be happy, be free, enjoy life. Life is too short for us to sit back and mope and be jealous or treat others badly. I just believe in genuinely giving people love and grace, accepting people for who they are, where they're at, and just being alive, being happy.
I love that. And let's talk about the Texas Cowgirl because it's
Yes.
fun. It is fun. Music
Mhm.
inspires me, and I'm not like the biggest cowgirl dance because I'm like genuinely Puerto Rican, but I could
Right.
actually go to any place and I'll make the space. Like I'll
Hmm.
have fun no matter if I don't even know how to dance
Yes.
country or so.
Mhm.
But describe yourself like this nonsense Texas cowgirl, the one that is like the happy one. How has the
Yeah.
mindset shaped the way you navigate through life as a Texan girl?
Well, being Texan, as well as I'm sure being Puerto Rican, we're taught a certain pride. We grow up, it's mandatory. We take our Texas history, we learn about where we come from, and it's like, it's not just, okay, I was born in Texas. Texas is my blood. It's my state of being. And growing up, like you said, my dad was a Texas cowboy. I remember being a little girl listening to country music in his truck, singing along with George Strait, um, being around horses, being around cows, and just that lifestyle of just that no nonsense, easygoing country life, enjoying the enjoying life, taking life as it comes, and just having again that pride of being this is who I am. I'm a Texas cowgirl. I like my boots and my jeans. I feel most of myself when I pull on my boots and jeans. That's when I'm most my confident. My back is straight, my head is high, and I can just walk through life. Going to stock shows and rodeos since I was a little girl, watching the bull riders, fawning over the bull riders. It just yeah, it's not where I come from, it's who I am. And I think that's the most
Oh,
important part.
that is so beautiful. Last time I had a bull ride, it wasn't like a real bull. It was one of those mechanical bulls, and
Yes. Well, I've
I
never
was
been on either, but I've always liked to look at the bull riders.
But you know what? I was traveling solo in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm just wandering the streets of Nashville by myself. And I asked at one place, there like a bull, mechanical bull somewhere? Yes, they said that it was actually located at the Bon Jovi restaurant, and I did. I went there and I told this girl, "Hey, can you take a video?" And I got on it and I did it. It was fun. It was actually fun. It
Oh,
was like check done, right?
yes.
So
Mhm.
yeah, you should try it because I mean
Oh,
I felt
definitely.
pretty fast, but
No, and I've been thinking about it too. I've been thinking about looking for a place that has an actual mechanical bull and just trying it out for fun.
yes, and take lots of pictures and videos and share that. It's really fun to experience life and just enjoy those moments. And let's back up a little bit to 2019 because I know it was a
Mhm.
very hard space for you in your life
Yes.
with the transition that actually changed part of your life, and it was a
Mhm.
moment that it was your husband, if I'm not
Yes. Mhm.
mistaken, right?
Yes.
And I know that that led you more into your soul-led
Mhm.
passion and what your heart was calling you to do. And so, how did you transition through those moments?
A lot of faith. Um, as people may not know, in 2019, my husband had a stroke at 42. We had been together since we were 19 years old. Um, and he was the love of my life. I mean, he was my everything. We had the most amazing relationship that I used to feel guilty because I'd hear my girlfriends complain about their husbands and boyfriends, and I'm like, well, I can't say that about mine. But when that happened, he became totally dependent on me to help him navigate. He can take care of himself as far as bathing, feeding himself, and all of that, but I had to be driving him. I had to be reminding him of things he needed to do. I couldn't leave him alone. So I had to look at my life and say, how am I going to support myself, keep growing because he can't work now? I have to be the sole provider. How can I do that and still take care of him? Because any job I take, they're not going to be like, yes, bring your husband to work. Yes, he can hang out with you in your office. Yes, you can take off several times a week to take him to therapy and doctor's appointments. So I really had to do some soul searching about how am I going to navigate this. And so being myself a Christian, I did pray about it. And I got this voice, whether it be God, Holy Spirit, the universe, guides, whatever we believe. But something told me, start your own business. And I was like, okay. And so that's when I started working on Flutter Focus and building my empire, as I like to call it, as it will one day will be. And yeah, that has been the best decision I made. It gave me the independence to be there for him and for myself, which I really needed at the time.
Yeah, and as I was reading too, the resilience to continue your journey, to do more self-development, to say,
Mhm.
okay, no worries, no matter what, we're focus, focus.
Yes.
And I know it's now that we say it, at every level, we have to have the resilience never stops, right? So
Mhm.
we master our emotions, we master who we are, and we can laugh about it now. And I know
Yes.
through for some people, they will tell us actually, oh my God, you say it's so easy. I know it's not easy, but it
Mhm.
just takes one decision. And I keep telling people that
Yes.
that's how I do things. I'm like, okay. I just breathe. Now it's so much easier because I've done so much inner work.
Mhm.
But I remember when I was making those decisions for my entrepreneurship in the store and doing this and doing that because I'm multi-passionate, multi-talented, and I don't fit in one box. I want to be in
Mhm.
multiple boxes. So I remember it's like, you got it. Just do it. There's no
Mhm.
stopping. So, so
Yeah.
I'm appreciative for you for just taking ownership of you and saying, I'm moving forward and no matter what, I got this. So that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And,
Yes.
you share also one of the hardest, I would say, realizations in life is that your husband may never be the person he was before his stroke.
Mhm.
And how has that changed your understanding in love?
Um, that's a really hard question because it is really hard when you fall in love with somebody and you know how they are when you first get together and then they change. And for a long time, I went through praying for 7 years. Just if I keep going and I keep working with him, he's going to get back to the man that he was when we first got married. And then seeing that that may not be the case, that, he's forever changed and coming to the acceptance of that and seeing, is this the life that I still choose, or is there something else out there? And that's where I'm at right now, is navigating where life is leading me as opposed to where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah, and that's amazing. And I thank you for that. And let's talk about what does like it feels for you when you have navigated all these years and now that you are in your entrepreneurship, that you're doing what you're passionate about, that you're using your gifts, because it gets easier when you use your gifts and your intuitive
Mhm.
side and
Yes.
using all those gifts to help soul-led leaders. How does that make you feel in those emotions?
It feels really good. I grew up with, yes, I had the cowboy dad, but then I had the psychic mother she didn't do it as a business, but she had this amazing gift. And I remember being at her feet at like 3 or 4 years old when most kids are listening to fairy tales. I was sitting here listening to her tell her stories about seeing spirits, talking to spirits, having these visions, and I was just fascinated, just at her feet. And then as I grew, I started to see those own gifts in myself. Um, and then now that I use them in my business, it's just such an amazing feeling when I'm talking with somebody and I get an intuitive hit, whether it be about where their business is going, whether it be how we can work with their business, what we can do with their business. And I get those goosebumps showing me that it is spirit. And then the look in their eyes when I remember I was talking with a client the other day, and she had this dream of being a coach and doing this work with hallucinogenics. And she's like, well, should I do two websites or should I incorporate the two into this one website? And I'm like, well, I see this part of your business falling away, and I see your coaching growing and blossoming. And she's like, well, that's not going to be for several years down the road. And I was like, no, that's going to be much sooner than you think. And I'm getting goosebumps again as I'm talking about it. But the look in her eyes of like, oh my gosh, the excitement she got when I told her I saw this coming, it fulfills my heart and it validates why I do what I do, because just giving that love and support for someone else and helping them see their vision and their dreams come true is just such an amazing feeling.
It is. It's beautiful to help them with our gifts. I am so appreciated like for all these years of like really hard work and more self-development. The more I go into my deeper ascension journey and my happiness
Mhm,
and where I belong at always, because never stops, right? And I see it now just listening to you. I could feel it.
mhm,
It is beautiful to help others we to scale their business. Not only that, to just jump. You know how long it takes for
mhm,
anyone that is not gifted in that area to figure it out, or how many,
mhm,
how many years are you going to spend to get that website correctly? And
mhm.
if just
Right.
one time here, just talk to someone that could help you with the expertise and what you really
Mhm,
need to actually. And this is how we solve problems. We solve them fast, and that's beautiful. I love that for you. And coming back to this sense, because a lot of women are listening to us today, and
mhm,
I talk a lot about love and self-care and self-love and how it's
mhm,
important in our life, and you and your transition. um when women that are caretakers, entrepreneurs, wives, mothers,
mhm,
how what maybe a tip or two that you could share so that they could balance their life in caretaking
mhm,
someone that has maybe some disabilities to just a regular woman that just shows up and she's taking care
mhm.
of others. Some of that idea that you have done in your transformation.
The main thing I've noticed is not to forget about yourself. For a long time, like I said, when it first happened, I went into this survival mode where everything was about him. And I neglected my own needs. And waking up from that and realizing I'm still a woman, I still have my desires, I still have my life, my dreams, and making time for those. I recently wrote a book, which I'm getting ready to publish. So that was making time for myself. I go out dancing. My husband, he doesn't dance. He falls asleep when we go out. So making time for with friends to say, "Hey, let's go dancing. Let's go out. Let's spend the night." Making that time for yourself to just be a woman, to just live your passions and your dreams and not getting everything wrapped up into your caretaking is so important, because if we lose ourselves, what good are we to anyone else?
Yeah, that is so important. And dancing is so much liberating. I
Mhm,
dance basically almost every day. I mean, I love it
mhm.
because it also keeps me in shape. I lost
Yes.
actually this year, since because last year I gained like 35 pounds, and I lost those 35 pounds. And
Mhm,
basically it's like movement, but dancing
mhm.
has one of them. And I love it. It
Yes.
just keeps me happy. And so I
Yes.
totally get you for sure. Definitely. That is
Yeah.
beautiful. Dance
Yes.
more, ladies. You have to dance. It's non-negotiable. You will feel this liberation that you don't give two fucks about what people, if they're
Mhm.
looking at you, great, because you're looking
Yes.
fucking amazing.
Yes, I do every day. I put my country music on. I dance. I two-step around my kitchen. I go outside, like you said. I don't care who drives by. I'm out there two-stepping and moving. And I myself have also been on a weight loss journey since end of last year. By February, I had already lost 40 pounds. I know I've lost more than that now. One sec. Oh, I'm in a meeting. Oh, sorry about that.
You're good.
But I've lost, I know I've lost more since February. I just haven't checked, but I know I'm going down another size since then. So I'm super happy to.
That's good. Well, yes, and I'm celebrating you for that. It's just, yeah, it's just a continuance. If sometimes I mean, especially for women that are actually doing her entrepreneurship by themselves, it's important to take that break. I find it very, very non-negotiable in my world because when I move, I regain energy and then I just come back
Mhm.
more clear on what I want to do for that day. If I'm working that day,
Yes.
if I'm just going out, it doesn't really matter, but I am clear. Like I feel that I am
Mhm.
smiling more. I'm not a bitch.
Yes.
I call it get the fuckeries out.
Love that.
I'm
Yes.
like, let's go dance. I'm removing fuckeries.
I agree. I love that. I'm gonna have to start using that.
Oh, I say it all the time, even if I post on social media. I really don't. It is fuckeries. You don't want
Mhm.
there's stagnant energy somewhere, like accumulated somewhere in your body. So the more you dance, the more you let your fuckeries out. If it makes sense, and me, it makes sense to me.
It totally does. I love that.
And so, you're helping entrepreneurs and solo leaders and you name it, whoever comes into your world, they're always looking for technology. They're also looking for podcasts and website.
Mhm.
What are some mistakes that you see constantly that is keeping them stuck with the problems that you solve?
Well, the first thing I see is somehow we've got into this narrative that you don't even need a website. You don't need all of this. All you need is social media and Google and PayPal. And really, that's not true because one, social media is what I like to call rented space. If Facebook shut down tomorrow, what happens to your business? So that's why to me it's so important to have a website because that I like to call it prime real estate. It is your lot, it is your home, and unless you stop paying for it, it's there. We also have to worry about the algorithms, getting lost in the algorithms. We have to worry about um, being Facebook jailed because we said the wrong thing. Well, on your website, you can say whatever the fuck you want, and people, it's your place. And the other thing is when people do build a website, they want to make it all about themselves. And it's like, here's who I am. Here's my accolades. This is what I do for you. And people don't give two shits. People care about themselves. When they're looking for something, they're not looking for, let me find Jane Doe who is specialized in this. They're like, no, I'm hurting or I'm having this problem. I need it fixed. So you really, when you're building a website, you need to focus on, first of all, what problem you solve and how you solve it. Not I am this and I can solve this. No, it's you're going through this. You feel like there's no answers, but guess what? There is. And then people will be more inclined to pay attention to you and listen to you because then they know that you care about them and what they're going through because that's all they care about. And so that's one thing that I always try to enforce and try to teach people is don't focus on you up front, focus on them.
I love that. And yeah, that is really important is to you want to focus on what problems you solve because as an entrepreneur and if it's hard for someone to think about it when they're just in one box and they just do one thing, I
Mhm,
remember I manage four brands, so it's like
mhm,
holy shit. Okay, this one let me focus what this one actually solves, even though that in my
mhm,
mind, but I could do this, I could do that, I could do
mhm,
that, and so it gets hard. But when you talk to someone that it's very like someone like you, an expertise, an
mhm,
expert in that category, it will help you solve your problems faster, and that's why it's
mhm.
important for you to communicate and say, hey, Kimbra, let's get together. Let me see if you could
Right.
help me because I'm freaking done trying to figure out. Because the thing is that when you are not an expert, there's also things behind the scenes, how to connect with Google,
Mhm.
how to connect with social media. There's a lot of things that go behind the scenes that we are not always capable of learning, even
Mhm.
though that YouTube has a lot of sources and resources.
Mhm.
But a person that is constantly doing every day, most likely they will have all the updates that you need to be successful in that category. So I like
Exactly.
that. I like that. Let's talk about what is the, I mean, there's so much, right, in your
Mhm.
journey, but if
Yes.
looking back all of this that you have created, what are you mostly proud of? Because I love for people to brag about
Mhm.
themselves.
Um, oh gosh, that is a hard one. I guess the thing that I am most proud of is I have had so much crap in my life where most people would have just said, fuck it, I'm out. But I have been strong. I have been resilient. I have kept going, even when life has thrown so many curveballs at me that I didn't know how I was going to get through to the next day. Somehow I managed. And I think that is what I'm most proud of, is that strength and that resilience to say that no matter what life throws at me, I'm going to get through it and I'm going to come back even stronger on the other side.
Yeah, I love that. And also let me add to that too, because I seen you also when going through hardships with family members and you said,
Mhm.
guys, like I'm going through this. I really need your prayers or whatever the case was at that
Mhm.
time. And I honor you for that because not everybody has has their has the ability to ask for help. And it's so important. It's so
Yes.
important because at the same time, we are not meant to do it alone. We're meant to continue, and we all have challenges, and that's why I do
Mhm.
my stories. I'm an open book. I share my life because
Mhm.
it's what helps people to evolve, and people that come
Yes.
to me, they know that I already lived it. So,
Mhm.
and they know I don't give up, that I continue to evolve and evolve, and I'm like, next, I finish one, let's go. What's the next one?
Right.
I
Mhm.
continue. So that's why people come to me, but I am so appreciative of you for standing up for yourself because that's
Yeah.
really, if you don't do it, if you don't ask for help, that's self-abandonment. And I'm so big on
Mhm.
that because the more, and
Yes.
I remember back in the time and I was giving myself love. I had the money, I had the lifestyle, but was
Mhm.
I really happy? No. I
Mhm.
had to just, cut the chains and say, I'm done. I need help. This
Mhm.
is what I can't do this on my own, working 7 days a week, trying to build this. I'm like, I'm done
Mhm.
with that phase of my life. And I had to just let go.
Right.
So it's important for everyone watching. If you're going to a major transition, it doesn't matter how big or small. And if you feel that you're just collapsing, because that's why it's so important to
Mhm.
do your inner work in this entrepreneurship, because the thing is that if you don't do your inner work, there's going to be a point that you will collapse and it's so hard to get back on. So
Mhm.
if you balance it and you allow yourself to say, hey, I need help, or just go and check
Mhm.
someone that can actually help you. And just like sometimes we don't need to sign up for another thing, we just need someone to hear us out.
Exactly. Yes. And that's one reason I'm very transparent, like on my Facebook, because I know there are things that a lot of people, they try to put out this life of like everything is great, everything is grand, and that's not how life is. And I feel like if I share what I'm going through, maybe it'll touch somebody who needs it at that moment. Knowing that I have such an amazing support group of friends that if I have any issues where I'm just like you said, like, hey, I'm having a bad day, this is going on, I can reach out and say, hey, I just need somebody to talk to. And I'm not looking to invest a lot of money into coaching or whatever, but just having that friend there to say, hey, can you listen for a bit, can be the best thing you can do for yourself. Because when you hold all that in and when you internalize all of that, it festers. And that's when you start getting dis-ease, such as cancer and lupus and all these other autoimmune deficiencies that come about because of stress, because of holding all of that in, because of not putting yourself first. And that's why it's so important to me to do that for myself and also be that for other people. If somebody needs to talk, if somebody needs to vent, if somebody just needs to say, scream at me, just yell at me, cuss me out, whatever you need, I am here for you because I don't want the people that I care about and love to suffer because they didn't process their emotions, what they were feeling.
Yeah, and I think it's also reciprocal to also, she was there for you or you were there for her, whichever, or,
Mhm.
but at times
Exactly.
it's like pay it forward. I always recommend
Hmm.
people to pay it forward, but God always answers when you're doing the work. And one of the things is
Yes.
to help people, not let them use you, right? Because you don't, because that's another thing. If someone is, and
Hmm.
I'm not talking about you, but let's say someone comes up to you and she's only coming to you when she needs your help,
Hmm.
but at the same time there's no,
Hmm.
even when you reach out or maybe she's not supporting your business, there's going to be a time that your energy will be drained. So I suggest to
Yes.
know and to
Hmm.
use exactly that time frame and use it wisely, because not everyone is meant to be in your world all this time. And
Exactly.
it's okay to let go, because at the same time we need to continue, and the more we drain our energy, the less we will have an ascension. So it's so important to be sure that that's also
Hmm.
self-love, and that's also
Yes.
respecting your boundaries, and what are you here to build. And that's not it don't. And I always, like, for everyone watching, when you set boundaries and standards, um for the people that are not in this journey, that doesn't know, they will probably think that you're a bitch. But in reality, no, that's respect. That is
Exactly.
self-respect. Those are boundaries and
Hmm.
standards, and you are more than worthy to create those. And I have made them so many times throughout this lifetime. And the more I continue to ascend, the more I will create them, because we learn
Hmm.
from experience. And so fortunately, when we ask for help, we also want to be reciprocal. You want to also help either
Hmm.
someone else, because that person might need it, but someone else, be there for someone, because that's
Hmm.
energy exchange, everyone. And it's so important to
Exactly.
exchange energy, not just to drain people's energy and then go home and then just ghost all of a sudden, and
No,
it happens.
definitely. Yes.
And it
Yes.
happens.
And that's when discernment comes in. Like you were saying about setting those boundaries, having that discernment of knowing who is worth your time, who is
Yeah.
worth your attention. And you want to do that, like you said, with people that you know are going to be there when you need them. And that's what I love about my friendship group is we're there for each other. We're my one of my best friends, she's always there for me. She's always kicking my ass to get my business going. But yesterday she was having a day and I was there for her. And she called me and she's like, Kim, this is what's going on. This is what I'm feeling. And I was there for her. And I was like, I've got you. I'm here for you, whatever you need. And like you said, that give and take is so important because that energy is what's going to bless you more. When you give more than you take, the energy is going to come back to you tenfold. And it's so important to remember that.
Yeah, that is very important. That's non-negotiable, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to us right now. Non-negotiable. And I'm telling you because I lived the experience and we all know. And that doesn't mean that they can't come back, but they could come back when they're ready. I say this with so much
Mhm.
love, but I say it with truth, as a truth catalyst. But because you do not want it for this journey, you have to make sure you're safe to continue, because you're already still taking care of yourself. And in order to
Yes.
take care of others, you have to take care of yourself. So it's very
Mhm.
important. And let me ask you something. If you could sit down with your younger self, your little
Mhm.
inner child,
Yes.
what would you tell her about life, about love, or anything about trusting in your life?
I would definitely tell her not to let anyone uh, dim her fire. I remember when I was very young before school, I was very vivacious. I remember people would tell me, "Oh, you're so cute, you're so pretty," and I'd be like, "No, not thank you, but no." And I lost that because once school started and I went through bullying, I went through struggling with my ADHD, I lost that inner fire. I lost that little happy, vivacious girl. And I want to go back and tell her, don't let anyone dim that. You are an amazing, beautiful person. You have so much love to give. And the people who admire it And the people who deserve it are going to see you for what you are. So don't let everyone else dim it. Just be you. Just be the wild, crazy, weird person that you are. And the people who matter will attract it. The people who matter will not get enough of it. And the people who don't, they're not worth it because their lives are screwed up as it is. So don't worry about them.
Yeah, don't worry about anyone but yourself for this
Yeah.
for that transition. And you know, just
Mhm.
I always tell people make her proud because I have talked about this on social media as well. Like I continue and I look at myself as a younger girl and I have pictures and I just look at her and I'm like, I love you. Thank you. You
Mhm.
know, I'm gonna make you proud. I promise. And I continue. I will look at myself in the mirror and I have gotten emotional so many times, but I have
Mhm.
looked at myself through my eyes and told her how much I love her and how much I am
Mhm.
so proud of her for allowing me to get here. Because it's
Mhm.
like that instinct. Like, let's go play. Let's go find our happiness. Let's go what we're gonna
Yes.
create now, you know,
Mhm.
and that is the vibe that you want to continue to live. So thank you so much. Let me ask you a question. Where can people actually find you?
Well, I am on Facebook. That's where I usually hang out. They can also visit me on Instagram, and they can send me an email at info@flutterfocus.co. Um, and yeah, those are the main places that I'm usually around.
For I love Facebook too. I people can find us everywhere, but Facebook, you know, we also have community that you could join us as well. We have networking groups that we hang out in too. So never hesitate to contact her and to connect further and you know book a call and do amazing fucking things in life because there's always someone here that is willing to help you because they already lived that experience and you're worthy of knowing more and not staying stuck. We're not here to stay stuck, my friend. There's plenty of people here willing to help you. And one thing that I want to ask, and I know I keep saying one more question. But one thing I love to ask my audience and my special guest speakers is like, what do you think the world needs more of?
Um, Understanding. I think right now we're so divided where you don't agree with me, so you're the bad person and I'm going to ignore you. And that's not the case. This world is full of so many different ideas and so many different opinions that you, we just need to understand each other, understand where the other person is coming from, give that grace, give that love. That just because we don't agree on everything doesn't mean that we can't be friends, doesn't mean that we can't have a relationship. We need to be more accepting and more loving towards each other is the main thing that I feel we need more of in this world.
Yeah, and we could have like I love conversations and we don't have to disagree. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop talking to you.
Right?
It's just adult conversations. And the more you masters your nervous system, the more you master your emotional regulation, the less you are unbothered and nothing
Mhm.
bothers you because you know that maybe they're just not understanding you at that moment. That doesn't mean they can't come back in some other time.
Exactly.
And just like, okay, I don't agree, but it's okay. Maybe you want to
Mhm.
explain if she allows you, but if that person is being reactive, then stop the conversation, my dear friends. It's time to move on. Okay, then let's just
Exactly.
stop it. And that person will understand because you're setting a boundary. And I love that
Mhm.
because in this world, there's going to be so many people that are not going to agree with you, including
Exactly.
myself. There's a lot of people that don't agree with me, but in my world, I don't give a fuck. I continue to live my
Exactly.
life. I am myself. I'm authentic. I show up no matter what. If I'm going through a time of challenge, I still show up. Maybe
Mhm.
not like on a video like today. Maybe I'll just take a break and take a day off or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be, but I still show up. That doesn't mean that
Exactly.
we can come back and like let's do this again. And
Right.
so it's so important to take care of yourself. That's why love is my foundation. Authenticity is the most beautiful
Mhm.
gift that you could give yourself. Opening your
Yes.
throat, allowing yourself to speak the truth, allowing yourself to communicate. It doesn't matter. I continue. Listen, I have an accent. I cuss. I could be professional, but you know what? I
Mhm.
just simply decide to be me. Whatever comes through
Exactly.
right now at this moment, who I am. And that
Hmm.
doesn't mean that I could just come and say, well, attention, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever the case may be, who gives a fuck? Go out there, be
Exactly.
yourself, say your truth, be unbothered. And if that wasn't the right moment, it's okay. At the end of the day,
Right.
people don't care. People don't care at the end
Exactly.
of the day.
And that's the way I look at it. I curse. I'm, you know, a country girl, so I'm like, don't have to be in the whole suit and the makeup and the hair done and but who cares? And I'm the type of person, if we don't agree on something, okay, we don't have to have that conversation. But why can't we at least still be friends just because we don't agree on one thing? And yeah, I agree. Authenticity is so important because trying to put on a mask, trying to be something you're not gets exhausting. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't need that. So just be yourself. And the people who love you will love you. Those who don't, well, fuck them.
Yeah, it's okay. They'll come around. If they don't, it's fine because at the end of the tunnel and when you burn that bridge, there's always other people waiting for you to be your friends and they're gonna love you
Yes,
regardless. And we just throw another
exactly.
party and celebrate together. So it doesn't fucking matter. I'm so happy. Well,
Yes.
it's been a beautiful day. I congratulations so much on your journey.
Thank you.
I love what you're doing and what you're helping people with, and it's beautiful to bring amazing people like you. I would think you've been since I owned the store, correct? I
Yes,
think
I think
that
so.
we
Yeah.
started knowing each other like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So thank you for being in my
Yes.
world, and you're always more
Thank you.
welcome to come back
Thank
or
you so
ask me
much.
anything. And so thank you for sharing your heart. Thank you for sharing your journey. It's always a pleasure sharing this with the world because everyone's
Mhm.
stories is something that might be other people going through. And I know it's
Yes.
changing the world. And what
Yes.
else that to share love through our expression? What else?
Mhm.
What other than sharing our expression, our communication, sharing the love that we have for our life? The love that we have for the relationships, no matter what the challenging
Mhm.
moments, making decisions, because relationships not only a romantic one, it's hard. Like we are communicating, we have a relationship, our clients, our
Yes.
family members, in our
Mhm.
entrepreneurship. And the connections that we built for these beautiful moments that could keep us and continue to let us move to the
Yes.
next chapter. And I am so flattered to have you here. So thank you,
Thank you so
everyone
much.
listening today to the Love Mastery podcast, and we will come back next week again with another one. I'll see you soon, and I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.